Good. So this is Mary, and I happen to be Frances' mom. And Harrison's mom. So this is what I said last week. I can say host mom, but I'm an ex-host mom. I'm a full mom now. Come on, I think I earned my title, yes. I earned my title, definitely. So who are you?
I'm Mary's daughter.
I'm also Mary's daughter.
Yeah, daughter of the girlie, of course. Fantastic, good. Remember that we need to curb the laughter. So how are we going to do that? Now this is another episode of SMT. And number 4, exactly. We had a couple of technical problems, but here we are, okay? So I think that's more than enough. And we have a guest of honor. We do not know how long he's going to be a guest of honor, or he will eventually become a permanent guest. But well, we do have Harrison here with us today, and so it's nice to have a chat after Christmas time, the 3 of us.
Wait, can I, I'm trying. I want to recheck.
Okay.
Feel me. Okay.
Good. So we are going to start with the first question of the week, and this is, what did you learn this week? Correct?
Yes.
Good. And you're ready?
Yeah,
I know. He told me this morning, I'm so prepared this time. Of course. We are all ears for you.
Okay, so what I learned this week was, so I'm kind of working that story right now, and then I asked Dario for some advice on how to visualize certain elements of the story, certain settings and stuff like that. And he gave me this great idea about I don't know the exact name for it, but it's almost like a collage of images that you use to visualize a concept. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And so they're not
It's like a visual brainstorming,
Exactly.
but you create it, or I don't know. Is it there for you? You put the parts together.
Right. It's like you just go on Pinterest and you find
Nice.
you put together. And it sounds kind of like a common sense thing, I guess, but I've never done that before, anything like that. And since I've tried it, it's changed everything.
Fantastic. So it's been a trigger for ideas.
Exactly.
And it helped.
So much.
Good. Very good. Excellent. So push to your creativity. You have to come back to it. Now we're going to find all the reasons.
Yeah.
We need to justify. Good, Franchi?
Okay, yesterday with Harrison we were talking. I don't know how it came up, but he told me, we were talking about tortures.
Yeah.
And during the Spanish
Inquisition, of course.
And so he told me a couple of tortures I didn't know, because I told him the one about so the person who is being tortured has to lay down, and drops of water are falling into
I didn't know that. I have no idea of that. Yeah.
And that turns you makes you mad.
Crazy. Of
Crazy.
course.
And he was telling me another one about also you being you lay down and they put a mouse on your stomach, and then they put what is it,
A pail usually.
a pail on the mouse,
That is
and they heat the
And they put hot coals.
exactly.
Yes.
So the mouse can escape. So he will.
No, come on. This is terrible.
I know it's gross to tell, but I don't know. It's still
Of
interesting.
course. Well, because these are the things that we never think about. Only if you read it,
Perspective. Honestly,
you think about that a
I
lot.
think
Because
about
you
it.
imagine living during the Spanish Inquisition and
No,
having that being normal.
I know.
No,
I do.
tortured to death. Okay, just another day.
No, of course. But I mean, probably that's a thought or connected to tortures that comes more often to you because you watch a lot of films. And so those things are so present in films.
And then even stuff you see today. I mean, I love reading about, you know, humanitarian problems.
Of course. Yes.
It's not, I mean, in certain areas of the world right now, it's not any different.
No, of course, true. Yes, true. I think tortures have changed, but there are so many tortures that are still happening every single day. That, of course, they are not so neither grotesque, not brutal, right? But yes.
Harrison tortures us every day.
Yeah,
Me and my
tickles.
siblings.
Go on, tickles. But I don't know. I think I told you this a million times. I was tortured by my father when I was a little girl with tickles. All that. That's a memory in me, and it's hard for me now to think of my father. Like yes, he used to take, but it was to the moment of almost dying. You know, stop. Nice. So what did I learn this week? Now, I'm reading a book that is so cool because I think it's the second time this year that I'm reading a book that is absolutely non-fiction. Okay, so it's the name of the book is The Nation of Plants, and I told you about this.
Yes.
So it's like Anna gave it to me, Anna the teacher, and I think she gave it to me because I love herbs and I love plants, and I don't know, it's a different vision of life. And so each chapter is like a new article of the constitution of plants. Okay, of course the whole concept is to make humans more aware of the importance of plants. And so the first concept that surprised me was how often do we think that the world is inhabited by 3 types of living beings, like humans, plants, and animals. We always think that we are
the only one.
Exactly, and the owners. It's more of the concept of owning the earth, but it's not us who own the earth.
Not even close,
No, not even close. And then then it speaks about different like rules and principles about plants and animals. But one of the things that it speaks about this ability that we humans and animals have of moving, okay, which plants don't. Okay, plants are always in state. So that, of course, takes us to different ways and different, let's say, ways of dealing with issues that plants cannot, because they are always still. And one concept that, of course, the book reminded me was that do we ever think about humans and animals have different organs for different functions? So we smell with the nose, we breathe with the lungs, we taste with the mouth.
So like specifically sensory organs?
Exactly.
Or just...
sensory organs, but organs for different functions.
Okay.
While plants do it with all the body. So they breathe, they smell, everything, they reason, okay? Because that was the other concept, with all the body. And of course, that gives them a different advantage that we do not have, because what happens to humans is one of these organs has a problem. Exactly.
And there's so much more resiliency.
That's big crap for a human person. While for plants, it's different. They still have no,
that's second.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, absolutely plants. I mean,
exactly. Who rules the world? Come on.
Plants and women.
These. You're part of the team. It's your girly side. Your girly side.
Very sorry.
Exactly. Good.
I like that.
Oh, I thought it was a cool concept. That it makes us think a lot, of course. Awareness as always. Good. So something that blew your mind.
You start.
I start.
Yeah.
No, you can start. Well, I start. Now, because it's something now. Again, but I'm gonna try to make it short, but it's not such a short concept. So
you always start the same way, you know?
I know, but come on, because I give a lot of thought to so many things. So meditation is not working because it's all about so something that has been blowing my mind for a while, but I think I came to kind of like a conclusion is, you know that when we are children, we go to church and you grow up being a Catholic, You're always told that when Jesus Christ died, he redeemed for ourselves and he sacrificed his life for ourselves, correct? This is like what we learn when we are children. And so we're always thinking, come on, the guy did that for ourselves. But I don't know, he was 33 years old. He wanted to live this life. I don't know how much of the sacrifice he really wanted to do for us, but not because he was a bad or a good guy. It's just because he was living life the same way we all live life, and things happened to him. I don't know how much of a choice he had, but what I think is that his death, it's not the sacrifice that he did, but it was the help for all the humans who stayed here alive to be aware of the importance of life. Not the concept that he died for us, but when he died, people were thinking probably more, come on, he died at a younger age than the age usually people die. I don't know, we are still alive and he isn't. So I think it was more a concept of awareness for the people who stayed alive than, okay.
So more like a very, very literal sacrifice, and then the good things that came out of that sacrifice.
Of course, because that's what happens when anyone that we love
beyond
dies.
just the religious aspect of it is also a positive example that can be looked at. I mean, like, obviously Jesus Christ is a huge
absolutely
religious figure, but also he's just a role model figure in
Exactly.
general. Exactly. A good life.
But it would be so nice to look at him more like a human person.
Or like a historical.
Of course, character, let's say. Because at the end, this is exactly what happens when someone that we love dies. People keep on thinking, but why did he die at such young age, and why isn't he here, and why did it happen to him and not to the others? Well, things happen. We're all dying at the end. But what happens with that death and us who stay here? So we need to be more conscious about that. And
No,
that's okay.
But where did this come from? Like, where does this thought
A lot of thoughts about my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is the truth. I mean, if you keep on asking me, if you ask me, yes. I've been elaborating death as a concept, and so, but also the thing, yes, people believe in certain things and not looking at the same thing from a different perspective.
Right. No, that's a really good point. Because obviously, when people think Jesus Christ, automatically it's very religious. It's God. It's
redeemed himself.
Right.
The poor guy was, come on, he was tortured. Speaking about tortures, he was tortured. Look at this. So, and I don't know, probably he was very sad of leaving a mother, leaving a father, leaving friends.
And nobody bothers to think about, like you said, that nobody bothers to think about that human aspect of it.
Of course.
The thoughts that most people would have in that situation. People always think like, oh, I'm doing my duty to humanity, and like he's probably just like happy and like perfectly alright with just being tortured to death.
Exactly.
He was a human being.
Yes, exactly. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So what blew your mind, Franchi?
So this happened like 2 weeks ago, but so you know it. So I entered.
Yeah.
I went. There's like a Chinese shop right in front of our house, and they like fix.
It's like a tailor shop.
And so I entered. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna practice my Chinese. They're gonna be so like surprised by that. Like I was waiting for the confidence, you know, like.
And you needed to prove yourself that you were still able to speak Chinese.
That was like my only goal.
Your ego.
Always there. So I entered and I started talking Chinese like so fluently and like waiting for a response. And they answered me in Chinese and like as if I was speaking as if I was Chinese. I mean, they weren't surprised at all. And okay, that made me think, not because I didn't receive the compliment at the end, but it looked like they didn't even question how was it possible. And it was It's not Chinese. It's not like English, you know. Like it's hard to find foreigners that speak Chinese.
Yes, of course.
So, and then talking about it with my dad, he made me think of how hypnotized we are.
Of course.
Like
that would be definitely Darius.
Yeah.
We know that. He should be part of this part of the conversation.
It's like, I don't know, we're like, hypnotized and
taking things for granted that are absolutely not for granted.
Yes.
How do you imagine like a completely European girl speaking Chinese normally and asking, I don't know, for anything?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good, Franchi, of course. That kept you thinking for a couple of days also?
Yeah. Why didn't my Chinese was so good.
Well, Harry?
For me, what blew my mind this week was I was reading something about, and you'll like this one a lot. So apparently, your gut, so like your whole digestive system, is referred to as like your second brain.
Absolutely.
Because it's your gut
Absolutely.
is the part of your body that's the second most
Gut
nerve
leak
cells.
is the problem of the 2020. It's like, yes, absolutely, yes.
Like so, but the more I read, the more I realized how much of our lives is influenced by our gut, of all places.
True.
You know, like our emotion, like the release of like chemicals in your brain you always associate like with your brain, like dopamine, for example. Like you always assume that all that happens in your brain.
True,
but
true,
most
absolutely.
of that happens
I know.
in your gut.
I know. I read a book last year and I have it at home so you can have a look at it.
Okay.
It's by an American doctor who specializes in gut leak because that's the problem. When you have like problems anywhere or in any part of your body, it's normally connected to your gut. And the problem is that it's not working properly, so there's a leak of, I don't know what type of ingredients or micro, I have no idea. But yes, I mean, it's a difficult definition for someone who is not a doctor. But there have been 1 million of studies in the last year because many illnesses are being treated.
Traced.
Exactly.
And then also how like humbling it is. So I think it's like human beings, we always associate, you know, oh, we're so much better than every other animal because, you know, we have this ginormous brain and our brain does everything for us and we are like a brain. But then so much of our body
Why
affects
was the thing you were saying?
who we are too.
Yes, of course, connected to the planting. Of course. Yes. This is a conversation about the ego. Nice, Harry. Nice.
Where did you read that?
Oh, I was just strolling through like articles and stuff like that with the Vox channel. Or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Good. So Franchi, we can start with you. And how did you push yourself this week?
Something that was hard, it was hard to think what was hard this week.
Yes, for me too.
It was such a beautiful week for me.
I know. True. It was hard for me too. And yes, well, come on.
Yeah, no, about the ego.
The ego. Remember the ego. We're working hard on the ego. We're bringing up
I just
topics
think
too.
it's not a coincidence.
No, of course it's not. But I
It
agree.
was hard for me, but something that was a bit hard is that sharing spaces.
Yes.
Like our house became like a hotel.
For you. For you, Franchi. No, I mean,
In what sense?
No, in the sense that it has become a more important, like the concept of your space has become definitely much more important this week. And so you have the feeling that, I don't know, people are coming and going and you still probably do not have like your own space.
But for me as well. I mean, I went from living alone pretty much for 6 months to living here and I don't mind it whatsoever. I actually really like it. I mean, I love being by people all the time, for once. But then, like, also, like, I sleep in Julie's room, obviously, which is not my room. And there's people always coming and going, and it's a communal space.
We are going to sign an agreement today. This is turning into something completely different than I need to say today. No, the two of you are teenagers and your needs are completely different from the rest of the family. But I think it's because when you are a teenager, your space is the concept of space changes considerably. And come on, this is a reality. Then it could also happen that the two of you have particular needs, and so, of course, and we live in a loft, in a family of 6 people.
Like the noises, let's talk about it, like the noises and stuff, like.
Yeah, of course. But Harrison knew this before he arrived here, and you've been a daughter for 18 years, so we cannot change that.
No, God. And
No.
it's still nice, and I'm so grateful. Like I would rather I prefer it that way.
No.
No, but I completely understand what you mean.
It's just
I
that
have my studio, so what can I say about it? Because at the end, what you're saying is, I think this year the concept of space has been different for everybody.
Of
For
course.
humanity, we've given priority to spaces that we never thought of, right?
Someone could like write a book on that, right?
Yes.
Everything about space.
Yes, yes,
I mean,
yes.
space is inside of houses and how that affects family dynamics, always being around people and how that can maybe
Yes,
past
of
relationship.
course.
But
But
then
that
also
could be the
space-
question at the end. We didn't speak about this.
Yes.
The question for the audience at the end. Yes, absolutely, of course, of course. But there has to be a book written about spaces. Yeah, yeah. Yes, you're right. You're right. Well, Harry, what did you have to push yourself with this week?
Well, right at the bat, the first thing that came to mind was your workout.
Ah, good.
To
Of
kick my
course,
butt so much.
of course.
More than I'm willing to be proud of, but I can admit that it was tough. It was very
Of
tough.
course.
And other than that, my sleep schedule actually.
Of
I mean,
course.
I haven't. I mean, if your sleep schedule is the biggest problem of your week, you're having a pretty good week, so I can't complain.
Of course, you're right. You're right. Yes, you're right.
But definitely, like I went from a much different sleep schedule at my dad's
Of
house
course,
to here,
of
where
course,
I'm waking
of
up super early every morning. And then I've noticed that like I was expecting to get into like a rhythm, you know, like you're getting.
You were a plant before and suddenly you became a human being. I'm sorry to say that, but come on.
It's like metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, I love that. But this is what, now one thing, and I'm sure Francie and myself, the two of us agree on that, you are so good at adapting. She told me that the other day, and this is brilliant because you managed in 24 hours to become again another Paniagua Collazo. And this is true. Come on, Harry.
I agree.
I don't know, another person could have stayed in bed until later, and then even if you woke up earlier that morning, then you could have stayed until 11, 10, I don't know, catching up on sleep or whatever. But you immediately started doing the things that we do at home, okay? From the training to the sleeping schedule and everything.
You know, but as you were saying yesterday, you told me like, if you want to stay with us, you have to sweat. Like, it's so true.
It's not their
But
workouts in other
this
ways,
is
right?
a rule that he knows. That's what.
Yeah, so it's not like, oh, good Harrison, you've been doing great. No, it's like, he has to.
He has no other
His
choice.
choice.
He has no other choice. It's true. It's true. He has no other choice. But I think he knows that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, he
that's
wouldn't
fine.
have come here. Because I know we are hard. I know we are hard people on every aspect. Of course, of course, of course. And then the other things that you were saying about Francie's training, so good to remind ourselves that we cannot prejudge. Because come on, you were looking probably at Francie the other days and you were saying, come on, normal squats, normal push-ups. Yeah, everything looks kind of normal till you did those.
Absolutely.
And then you were sweating and she was fresh water, bread and water. Yes, good. And it was the same for me. I had to think over, but I finally chose something that has been a little bit hard for me in the last months. I would say is my role as aunt, okay? But in particular to the two daughters of my brother who passed away, okay? Because again, so many relationships grow and are built up with reciprocity. And when that happens in life, like someone so young dies and then there are children, the two daughters loved me so much until he was here. They still love me, but in a different way. And I've been trying like for 1 year to be so close to them, and I don't know, like be there and now be there for them in case they, but things don't happen so naturally, okay? And so, I don't know, it's something that I haven't sorted out yet. I'm trying to be the adult, more than the auntie is, I try to be an adult, understanding their own situation and seeing and hoping that at one time in life they will become a little bit more conscious about the existence of a world beyond their own world. They are young, come on, I cannot pretend that much. I don't know, that has been hard. Hard. Good. So one question.
Surprise question.
Surprise question for us. You have one card?
I do have one. I have to look at it to make sure I word it just right though.
Okay.
And it kind of ties in a lot to ones, like for example, the historical figure thing that we had talked about before, and then the Christmas table one. It kind of, I think, ties into a similar concept. But if you could ask a single person one question and they had to answer it truthfully, who and what would you ask?
So the important thing is that I want an honest answer.
Yeah,
correct?
And then it can be anybody. It can be someone you know, it can be a historical figure, anybody.
I think like someone like Pope Francis. Pope Francis, I don't know, because I remember watching that film.
The two popes.
Yes, I remember watching that film, and I don't know, that film was like a little bit of light in terms of being honest, no? Because it's a story at the end of two popes that at one point they were trying to be honest with each other because of respect, let's say. But I don't know, all popes have got so much structure on top of them that I don't know, I kind of think how much is it really possible for them to give any true answer. And I think probably it's the same for presidents, politicians, and all these people. No? So I think it could be like any person who's got so much power.
Like Jesus, we were talking
yes,
about.
but Jesus could be honest. I don't think of Jesus not being honest. The same for Che Guevara. I don't think
That'd be a good question to ask Jesus. I mean, like, are
Yeah.
you?
Yes, I know that.
Like,
Yes.
let's ask Jesus.
Yes.
Hey, Jesus.
Yes, I like that. I like that, definitely. Yes.
And yours?
I'm happy with Jesus.
You're happy with this?
No, I don't know. Because the way you put it, the first thing that came to my mind was I need to like know the truth because I have the feeling that they're not saying the truth, and I have not like
Nothing to hide.
no.
Okay. But you were thinking about you and not the others in that case.
No. I know you didn't understand. I mean, I don't think there's people hiding something.
Okay, yes, but they're talking
No,
about
yeah, of course. Big things. So, I don't know. I'll stick with Jesus.
Okay.
Maybe I'll think about
Okay.
it.
No, I was gonna say it's interesting that both of you also never picked anybody you know.
Yeah, that's...
Yes.
That's what you mean. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand.
I think...
Because with the people that I know, this is what happens to me. With the people that are really close to me, I expect them to tell me the truth. So again, expectation. We have a whole conversation there. But I know, but we're not taking the conversation towards that. But I don't know, I assume that they are going to say the truth. And then for the people that I kind of know, and I would like to know if they're telling me the truth, I don't think I would really take the risk. If I don't really know the people, you know? If I don't know someone very much and I still wanted the truth from that person, I don't know if I would take the risk. Because I don't know if the answer is going to be the truth. Do you understand what I mean? Like an acquaintance of mine and I wanted that person to tell me the truth, And because I depend on that truth, I don't know if I want to take the risk because I do not trust that person. Exactly.
But like the question is, they have to tell the truth, you know.
So that's why I will go to someone that I don't know so much.
Okay.
I think I go back to the.
Also, from the people we know, like we're never afraid to ask them. I mean, me and you personally.
Yes,
like,
of course.
But can you always trust them to give you a straight answer?
Because we choose the people like.
Yes, of course. Exactly, of course. Good, Francie, your question? Surprise question? Wait, because I remember mine.
Sorry. Okay. If you were given 1,000 acres.
Yes.
of
My
land,
vegetable garden.
what would you do with it?
My vegetable
And you-
garden. Yes.
1,000 acres.
Yes, my vegetable garden and a school right next to it. Yes, my vegetable garden, absolutely.
Does it matter where?
No.
It's 1,000 acres of land in general.
Of
What would I do?
growing land, so land that where you can grow things.
Yes.
Oh, it has to be a growing.
Fertile.
No, I mean, no. Well,
I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of having a forest surrounding me, so I plant as many trees as possible and put a house right in the middle of it.
okay. Need to be like protected.
No, I like
He
that
didn't.
privacy.
He needs to go back to his normal schedule.
No,
Living
you
schedule.
build the house with the people you like, but then the rest of it you can go.
Good. And my question is, if you decided to change completely your diet, okay, what would you have for breakfast every day? So your diet has to change completely.
Breakfast every day.
Yeah.
I feel like I read something about like what you should have for breakfast. I guess like, okay, the question is hard because like I feel like I always have something new for breakfast. Like I'm constantly changing what I eat for breakfast.
That's good. That's something that we should all do. Okay. But some people normally have like sweet things, so maybe this is like an opportunity to have something savory. I don't know.
I guess I would say more fruits and like plants. I guess in general, I don't have enough plants.
I was gonna say, I would go for the like salty breakfast or like vegetables.
So welcome Yotam or
Yes.
We will have Yotam at home cooking breakfast for us every day. Yotam, please watch this. Please. It's not only me who has a crush on you, it's everybody at the moment. Good, excellent. And so the last is...
No, wait, what about you?
Absolutely vegetables, yes, like pan-fried vegetables, not deeply fried, but yes, vegetables for sure, like more spinach and chicory, all the green vegetables with nuts and maybe some Greek yogurt, I don't know, and bread. We had the brioche before. What is a brioche? We were so happy with our brioche, but now we realize that we could have had something better. Yes, tomorrow is brunch day, so yes, we need to start looking forward to that. It's been a brunch week.
Yes.
We need to be honest. Good, and so the question for the audience, for everybody to think about, and space. Let's make it about space, okay? So, Harry, what comes to your mind? What can we ask people about space?
Well, can it be relevant to the virus or?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes, or how space has changed.
Yeah, how space has been affected by the virus.
Exactly.
Your
Of course.
definition of it
Of course.
has changed.
Yes.
Both like inside the house and outside the house. Because I think they're two completely different
Of course.
things. You know?
We went for a walk on Christmas Eve at 8 o'clock in the evening. There was nobody in the city. We went towards the majority, so that was like 45 minutes and 45 minutes. And we appreciated that walk so much because we cannot go out from our houses.
I mean, look, we had so much space.
Exactly, and it all belonged to us. And see, we are cretins, humans. We think we own the world. No, but it's true. Well, that's it. That was a wonderful SMT. Yes. See you next Saturday.